everyone.
Hey there guys, Unofficial MCU here, hope you're all doing well, and in this video, this is my episode 1 She-Hulk review and my thoughts and opinions here. I'm going to be hopefully trying to stay consistent with this, and doing this every week as each and every episode is going to be coming out here, just sharing a little bit of a review and some thoughts and opinions, maybe a few Easter eggs here and there with some things that you may have missed. I'm really not going to go all that more into depth or anything like that. I'm not going to be going crazy or anything like that into these videos. I really just want to share some of my thoughts and opinions and a little bit of a review here, what I was thinking here about these new She-Hulk episodes each and every week here, as well as sharing some theories and some speculations as well here for each of these episodes. So without further ado, I'm gonna hop right on into it. I will be reading from Awards Radar as they have a little bit of a recap here for the first episode of the She-Hulk show here, whilst also kind of chiming in here and there and sharing some thoughts and opinions. So in a bit of a breath of fresh air, She-Hulk Attorney of Law brings a very light and comedic side to the Disney Plus series of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Something in my thoughts and opinions, I think that Marvel has done a little bit too much, and I think that some people agree with me on that kind of whole idea, is that like every superhero and every project, every show, every movie has overly comedic elements, it feels like, when it comes to these projects. And I think it does work with Hulk, but maybe for some characters it just doesn't completely feel like it's there. It doesn't feel like it's right. It feels more on the forced elements. However, when you do compare it to the recent Moon Knight series, that there definitely has some darker tones and themes and concepts here with that show, so I really can't complain all that much on that. They're trying to bring this and push it onto every single character. Now, from there, I'm going to go ahead and continue the read here, complete with a self-aware edge with the fourth wall breaks, which is something I absolutely loved as well. It really does remind me of Deadpool and the Deadpool movies, which are going to be coming to the MCU very, very soon here. Maybe I'll have a video talking about how they're breaking the fourth wall here in the She-Hulk show, and how that would honestly be a perfect introduction here for Deadpool as well, as these are the only and both characters that break the fourth wall in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as of right now. On top of that, maybe some type of explanation for why these characters are doing that would be, I think, even better here. Maybe that the She-Hulk show could explain it, or maybe that the Deadpool 3 movie could also explain. Either which way, I'd absolutely love to see both of these characters actually interact in the near future of the MCU here. The episode, as we all know, begins with Jennifer Walters, an attorney who specializes in superhero cases, practicing her closing arguments for a big case. After one of her co-workers jokes around about her hulking out during the trial, Jen addresses the camera, breaking the fourth wall right there and then. It tells us a story of how she earned her Hulk powers and really her origin story. And this right here is kind of one of my only problems with this episode, although even then I can't complain all that much because they still did a fantastic job of explaining her backstory here with the She-Hulk here, how she got her powers. It makes perfect sense. It doesn't really need, I guess, rocket science or anything to explain it all that much. We cut a few months prior where Jen and her cousin Bruce Banner are on a road trip. Suddenly a spaceship dips down into their way, causing them to veer off the road and get into a nasty car accident. When helping Bruce out of the wreckage, Jen ends up getting Bruce's blood in her with her open wound, spreading the gamma poisoning and causing her to Hulk out and flee into the nearby woods, giving her those Hulk powers. It's very easy to explain. It's very simple. It's a good concept. It makes plenty of sense, and it honestly connects enough to the origins with the comics and everything like that. And the comics of how she became the She-Hulk was from an emergency blood transfusion of some type. And honestly, in my thoughts and opinions, this here makes a lot more sense. It makes way more sense just kind of in those terms and conditions, because I think that Bruce Banner would know that if the blood were to mix with somebody else's blood, that they would gain those Hulk powers, which is something that he clearly doesn't completely want for anybody, because it's not easy being a superhero for one thing, and it's definitely not easy being a Hulk. Jen stumbles upon a bar where some female patrons comfort her and help her to get cleaned up. She borrows one of their phones to call Bruce to come and pick her up where she's at and everything like that. While waiting for Bruce's arrival outside, Jen ends up getting catcalled by a group of rowdy men. When they advance on her, she transforms and totally freaks out and becomes the Hulk, before then blacking out after getting a little bit too hulky at that. We see that Bruce Banner actually comes up and his Hulk actually tackles her down, kind of chilling her out type of thing is what we see there. Jen wakes up in Mexico in Bruce's lab underneath this little hut that he has there. We find out this is where Bruce had been spending a lot of his time during the blip and the years in between Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and that he created the lab with the help of Tony Stark. Bruce now is a smart Hulk form that puts Jen through a test to see how easily she can transform transform into the She-Hulk. She transforms and hulks out, and Bruce is surprised to discover that both Jen and She-Hulk can exist at the same time quite easily, contrary to how Bruce and Hulk were able to coexist at first as well. It took him years to figure this out. Bruce attempts to train Jen into becoming more of a superhero, but she kind of disagrees with that. During the ensuing training, Bruce and Jen participate in such activities as chucking boulders, balancing exercises, dialectic behavioral therapy, and consuming immense amounts of alcohol at that as well. Jen eventually grows wary of training and wants to resume her normal life outside of Mexico and get back to being a lawyer. After a heated alteration between himself and Jenna as well, Bruce finally relents and lets Jen leave while offering her support if she ever actually needs it, because that's what family's for. Back in the present, as Jen is about to begin her closing arguments that we finally resume into from where we last actually saw her at the beginning of the episode, the trial is interrupted by a supervillain called Tatiana, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, crashing through the wall and disrupting the courtroom. In a full view of the court and public, Jen transforms into the She-Hulk and defeats Tatiana with ease. The episode ends just as Jen is about to deliver her closing arguments. Episode 1 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law brings a new type of charm to the current MCU slate. While this first episode did not prove to be a lackluster or anything crazy or big, it did become across as a touch of less ambitionness to other recent Marvel projects, and it was a much easier thing to kind of peel back, which feels very refreshing. Something that's a little more chill, something you don't have to like consistently follow. It's maybe something you can almost put on in the background and kind of just watch it like that. While the main plot of the episode is wrapped up very nicely by the end, there are still some lingering questions remaining. Why did that alien ship dip down and make them crash? Why did Tatiana interrupt the trial? Who is she exactly? Why is she a supervillain? What were Jen's closing arguments at that? Perhaps episode 2 will bring us some more answers here for the She-Hulk show. They gave us a great introduction here to her character. They explained her origin story and everything like that, and I actually surprisingly really liked this show here so far. Even despite the VFX problems that the show has going on here, a lot of people have been complaining about that. That, in my own thoughts and opinions, really didn't bother me all that much. I was still kind of just able to get around it. It just felt normal. I just didn't really let that ruin my enjoyment of the show, and I think that you guys should do the same thing. Don't let something small at that, such as some maybe crappy or poor type of VFX work, really ruin your entirety of your experience here when it comes to these shows. They're meant to be enjoyed. They're meant to kind of get you away from the real world type of thing, so kind of like let it do its job, I guess, at that. Then again, maybe it was also the possible reasoning that I had my expectations for this show and the bar set so dang low that it was way better than I actually anticipated at that, and I think this is something that's going to be applied to a lot of other Marvel fans out there as well, which there's nothing wrong with that. That makes sense, honestly. This here was definitely a great episode. I'm intrigued. I want to see more She-Hulk, and I really want to see some more Daredevil here as well. I want to see Daredevil in the show here as well, what he's going to be doing and everything like that. I mean, who doesn't, honestly? So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What did you guys think about episode 1 of the She-Hulk show here? What are you guys hoping to see here with the future of this series, for one thing, and the future of She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters within the future, and then continuing MCU here with movies and everything like that there as well? And I'd absolutely love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Leave a like in the video if you did enjoy it, as it really just helps the channel, and check out Instagram and Unofficial MCU for more Marvel related content. The link down in the description down below. Guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Peace out.